And while it was making its drive down there, it developed a rod knock again. So frustrating. We're going to plan B, which is something that we really know and something we've had great success with. You can see how clean this engine is. It looks brand new. All right, guys, well, the Willys is, I would say, officially LS swap. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Rusto Mod. If you see behind me, we are going to be working on our 1950 Willys Wagon. And if you guys have missed the previous episodes on it, we have done a lot of work to this thing, and I'll give you a quick rundown of what we've done to it, and I'll show you guys what we're going to be doing next. So this is a 1950 Willys Wagon, and we ended up finding it kind of in a halfway state of a project, and we wanted to make it a little bit more modern. So we took a Jeep TJ chassis, we lengthened the wheelbase, and we stuck it underneath of our classic Willys Jeep. Then we didn't stop there. We wanted it to have a really cool turbo diesel in it, and a common swap on the Jeep Wranglers is a Volkswagen TDI. So we swapped in a Volkswagen TDI, and then behind it we put a Chevy automatic overdrive transmission in there. We did a bunch of really cool custom interior stuff on the Willys, and we put it on Hot Rod Power Tour for its first main voyage. Once we did Hot Rod Power Tour, midway through the trip, it ended up blowing a head gasket. So we brought it back here and we found a rebuilt TDI. We slapped that in there, and it has been running and driving ever since. But recently, we were trying to take it to a Cars and Coffee, a local car show, and while it was making its drive down there, it developed a rod knock again. So frustrating. So at that point, we just parked it. We were really over this thing, and we didn't really know what we were going to do with it. But we figured out a solution. Hopefully this motor is the last motor that goes in this thing, because it should be pretty good and reliable to be able to drive anywhere. So let me explain what we're going to do. All right, if you can see, there is no engine in the Willys Wagon at this point. We ended up pulling that rebuilt TDI out of there, and we wanted to kind of just start over. So this is going to be a little bit long-winded, so bear with me. I just want to get you guys updated on where we're at. Then we can get to work on trying to get it back together. So this build was built for my dad. He wanted to be able to drive this thing every day, just like I drive my C60 very reliably every day. We have pulled out the TDI so we can start figuring out what we're going to be doing in place of the TDI. Now, I'm sure it's something that we've done. I don't know if the Willys Wagon is just too heavy for that little 4-cylinder or what. I know a bunch of guys that run TDI swap Jeeps and they have no issues, so it's probably something that we did. So we're just gonna stick with what we know. So like I said, we are running a GM overdrive transmission in this build, and that is kind of planned out because we weren't really sure about the TDI stuff. So we're going to plan B, which is something that we really know and something we've had great success with. So just like our C60, we're going to be swapping a bone stock 5.3 in the Willys Wagon just to get some highway miles on this thing and have a reliable, nice running V8 in there. So this is the motor that we're going to be swapping in the Willys Wagon. This is just a 5.3 bone stock that we found in a Suburban. We actually got the Suburban for $1,000, and it was a really, really good deal. Now what makes this motor really cool is the lady that had owned it had actually had this motor replaced by a dealership whenever she owned the Suburban, and this motor only has 40,000 miles on it. It's very clean and it's in really good shape. Pulling off the valve cover here, you can see how clean this engine is. It looks brand new on the inside. I was really happy whenever we found out this motor was replaced. And for $1,000, getting a rebuilt LS with under 100,000 miles is a really good deal. So getting one with 40,000 miles is a crazy deal because we got the entire running driving Suburban. So we know that the motor runs really good because we were actually able to drive the Suburban and see how it ran. So one thing that we have to do is the Willys is really tight in the engine bay. So the truck accessories just really wouldn't fit the way we have it set up now. So what we have on here is a Holley mid-mount kit, and it's a very nice kit. So what it does is it basically compresses all the accessories that you have with that big truck accessories down to bolt on the sole water pump. So the water pump kind of houses everything on there, so it's nice and compact. If you can see, the alternator is just a little bit outside of where the cylinder head is, so it's very compact to fit in the Willys Jeep because that thing is tight even with a little 4-cylinder diesel in there. Other than the accessories and maybe some fuel lines and stuff that we have to run, we're trying to leave this as bone stock as possible. Same philosophy that we have with the C60. We want to be able to find a bunch of parts at local parts stores if we go on a road trip with this. So we're leaving the stock intake. We're going to try to leave the stock coil packs, the oil pan, everything like that. Want to leave it as bone stock as possible. That way, if we have a breakdown on the road, it should be easy to find everything. The only thing aftermarket, like I said, is the accessories, but Holley sells all this stuff on their website. And a lot of this stuff is reused from other vehicles, so we should be able to find parts if we have a problem with the accessories on the road. Now, like I said, this is my dad's build, so he's been working on this behind the scenes to try to get the Willys ready to go so the motor is ready to slap in. So let me show you guys some things we had to modify to fit the LS into the Jeep. Now, if you remember the other build, we had to run a electric air conditioning compressor and an electric power steering pump. What's nice about the Holley kit is we're able to actually fit the mechanical air conditioning and mechanical power steering in this, so we don't need any of that stuff. So we pulled all of the electronic stuff out of here, and we're just going to run it old school with the mechanical accessory drive. The other thing we had to do was we had to get some motor mounts to fit our LS into our TJ chassis. So we went to Novak Conversions and found their motor mount kit, and we welded those in place, and it fits really good. We actually have a mock-up LS to be able to fit stuff inside of small places, so that way you don't have to fit the actual motor in there. It's a lot easier to work around. The only other big thing that we had to change was our radiator placement. The LS is a lot longer than the TDI, so our radiator was kind of sticking pretty far out. So we modified the radiator position and got rid of our intercooler that we're not going to need anymore, and kind of scooted everything up.
So here's what we cut off of the original mount that we had set up for the TDI. You can see how far back these slots were for the mounting holes. So that's a lot of material to come forward, but we had just enough. Looks good. So anyway, this is all now scrap. We got to clean this up, but it looks good.
Now, we had some really cool brackets and stuff in the grill of the Willys that bolted to that intercooler, so we had to get rid of that stuff, which kind of sucks, but we made new brackets to be able to house all the lights that we had in there. So you can see the lights are really hidden behind the radiator, and it should work pretty good. So we still have all of the same features that we had before, but it's just moved forward a little bit. Now we're going from a mechanical injected turbo diesel to a fuel injected, all computer controlled LS. So we're running all that stuff with our Holley Terminator X. If you guys are doing an LS swap on anything, make sure the first thing you buy is a Terminator X or Terminator X Max. They control the engine and the transmission, and it just makes everything a lot easier to be able to wire stuff, because I hate wiring, and that's the worst part of a build for me. So we're running a Terminator X Max, same thing that we run on all the rest of the builds, and it should run this no problem. Now, we also took the time to not only figure out what all the wiring changes we have to do, but we also went through and we painted the entire underneath of the Jeep. Remember, we took this to the beach and drove it through some salt water, and it got really rusty. So hopefully it doesn't rust again in the future, because it's a Jeep. It's probably going to spend a lot of its life off-road, not just on-road. So we want it to last as long as we can. So that's kind of the rundown of what we've had done to this. I know some guys are not going to be super stoked when we're going from diesel to gas, but we just want to be able to drive this reliably like our C60 is. We're hopefully trying to take this on Hot Rod Power Tour this year, and I think it would be a great goal to actually finish Power Tour with this build, so we can actually say we've completed it, since we had not completed it before. So that's my goal for the Willys Wagon. We want something really nice and reliable that he can drive anywhere, and that's what I want this build to be. So now we have to actually fit our real 5.3 in the engine bay of the Willys Wagon, bolt everything back together, and see what we got to do to make it fit. It should go in pretty easily. Like I said, we had that mock-up motor in there already, so hopefully everything goes smooth. So the only thing we have to do is get it in there. So let's get to work. All right, so just here's a quick look underneath. So you can see he's painted everything. It actually wasn't fully painted before. So we went through, cleaned everything up, painted it, repainted the firewall, painted the frame. Everything that was starting to rust, we have undercoated now. And then the other thing that we did was, since we're running a fuel injected motor, we had to add a fuel pump. So this is the old Rambler Bosch 044 fuel pump. So we're gonna run that fuel pump, and then we drained the fuel tank out and got all the diesel out of there. And so we have fresh, clean fuel tank for our new gas that's gonna go inside there. So everything else is pretty much the same. We just had to add the fuel pump, and then we already had a return line because the mechanical diesel had a return line on it. So that all should work pretty good. Still running the same transmission. Like I said, it's a GM transmission, so it'll bolt up to our LS. So I think the game plan is now we're gonna take this whole plate assembly thing that the Wranglers have, and we're just gonna lower the Jeep down and then bolt this up to the frame. So that way it'll lift our transmission up, get that into place. We do have to pull our radiator back out to get our motor in there. Then we can place the motor in, bolt it all together, and it should be in. So that's the game plan. We did have to end up making a little bit of a different mount for the transmission because the motor is pretty far forward. So we slid it back a little bit, just enough where we didn't have to get new drive shafts. Now these do have a slip yoke in the middle of the drive shaft, so we have a little bit of play there, and we cycled the suspension to make sure it didn't bind. So just a little bit of moving the transmission back, and then we also moved it up. So the motor was sitting really low in our chassis, and it still does sit pretty low, but we added this spacer in here to be able to raise the transmission up. So it should be good to go. So what we're doing now is we lowered it down some, and then he's underneath. He's trying to connect the linkage for the transfer case. It's a cable style transfer case linkage, and we can hook that up a little bit easier because that plate kind of blocks access to everything. So you can see that transfer case linkage up in there. We got that from JB Customs. They sent us that linkage whenever we did this build initially. It works really good, just a little bit to adjust it, especially since the whole car is put together. It's a little bit more difficult. All right, so we got our transmission in place. So it's kind of nice. We could just have this little plate, drop it down, and then it bolts onto the side here and then lift the whole thing up. It is hard to get to stuff because of the plate to get up in there and try to connect everything, but we were mostly able to connect all the stuff while it was in the air. So that should be it. So now I guess what, you just want to put the motor in, or you got to connect anything else?
No, should be able to get the motor in, but we got to make sure we're at the right height here. So we got this block in here that we need to figure out.
All right, cool. So we got our motor mounts bolted in here. So whenever we drop the motor down, they'll just go into these holes, and then we just bolt it in, and that should be it. All right, so we got our transmission in place, we got our motor mounts in place, got the radiator removed. So now we should be ready to go to drop the motor in there and see what it's gonna look like. So this is a long time coming. You're excited to finally have a motor you don't have to work on in there?
Yeah, hopefully. Technically it'd be the fourth motor, because we started with the small block Chevy that came in it that was junk, went to the TDI, first one that was junk off of Craigslist or whatever, and then the non-junk, fully rebuilt, massive King Kong TDI, and it blew up too. So this is motor number 4.
Yeah.
Which is the last.
So this should be hopefully the last engine, because this thing has 40,000 miles on it. Should be plenty good for what we're doing. So while we have the motor out of there, we just want to test the front lights and kind of align them. So that's what the front lights look like. So now we have to just move them a little bit and align it, because if you can see on the back, it's in front of the radiator, so we can't get to any of that once the motor and all the radiator stuff is in there. But that's pretty cool. Did you add lights, or was it like that before? Oh, okay, so before you only had 2, now he's got 2 in the middle. So
well, there's 4. There's 4 in the middle, 4 on the outside.
Go ahead. Come on, stop. Come on in a little bit. Right there.
the motor is in there. It took a lot of kind of wrestling to get it in there. We have these bars here that were kind of in the way. But you can see it's very far back just because the TDI was pretty far back, but it clears everything pretty good. We have plenty of room in the front, but like I said, once we get the accessories and everything on there, it's going to be a lot tighter. So now we want to try to test fit the accessories and the radiator just to see how much clearance we have. We also have some aftermarket headers because the stock ones are going to be too tight. So I'm going to try to fit those on there as well just to make sure everything will fit, and clearance for our steering shaft on the side here. This is the tightest spot because the steering shaft is right next to the header and our power steering pump and everything else on this side. So it should fit pretty good, but I think it looks a lot better in there than that TDI did. All right, guys, well, the Willys is, I would say, officially LS swapped. It looks really good in there. I think just the aesthetic look of this motor in the engine bay looks so much better than the TDI did. It was kind of a mess, but now it fits perfectly. If you can see down there, we have just enough clearance for the water pump on the Holley mid-mount and our radiator fan here. The only thing that's really tight is we still want to run the 2 batteries, so our dipstick tube is just hitting the battery tray. For fitting a V8 into something we had a 4-cylinder in, if that's the only thing that's interfering, then we're doing pretty good. I think it looks really good. You can see down here we have our exhaust manifold in there. This one is a lot tighter than the other side. We got these exhaust headers on eBay, and they're for a C10, but they fit the Willys Wagon perfectly, like they're made for it. It hugs it really tight, and you still have plenty of room for everything else that we have on the side of the engine. So I think it looks really good. I really like the way that this is going. And then even with the truck intake, which we want to run, like I said, we want to keep it really stock. Since the intake is so tall, it fits under the hood perfectly, and it really fills in the engine bay. You can see how low the motor is compared to the radiator just because of where it is. The Willys Wagon is very tall. The body is very tall, so we have to kind of get some really long radiator hoses to be able to make it work, but it should fit in there pretty perfect. And then our space with the mid-mount, you can see why we had to do that. Just with the steering and our air conditioning, everything's nice and compact. So we should be able to use the stock AC lines that we had before, put them on right there, and then that would work out. And then our heater core lines running right there. Everything is just a lot more organized under the engine bay. Another really awesome benefit that we just kind of noticed is the motor is really far back. It doesn't really interfere with the firewall. I mean, you can get your hand behind it. The motor itself is behind the front axle, so it's almost like a mid-engine setup where it has a lot better weight distribution because this motor is a lot heavier than the TDI, but with it being far back like that, it should handle pretty good as well. So the next thing that we have to do is just start bolting all this stuff back up, try to fill out the engine bay and see where we can get our engine left off. Then we can start the wiring, and hopefully we can get this running pretty soon. So that is coming up next. All right, guys, I know this was a long-winded video, a lot of talking, but I wanted to get you up to speed on the Willys Wagon to show you guys what we've been doing. So we'll see this in a little bit. I have a lot more work to do on the F250, so we're going to get back on that in the next episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.